What's up? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I'm Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me, that's fine. Let's address the elephant in the room. Yeah, my arms are gone. No, it's not because I lost my arms. They're somewhere under the desk. But I sort of forgot to record some of the intros for the videos, and that's where you see my disembodied, well, kind of embodied head. Is there such thing as an embodied head? So yeah, anyway, sorry for the weird audio quality shift. Let's get back to slightly better Morrow quality in this video for today. I don't know where I'm looking, by the way. I'm just looking to the side, hoping that it makes sense for me to look there. Player melts characters and players, attempts to destroy campaign, excommunicates themselves when that doesn't work, and manages to totally torpedo a friendship that didn't even involve them. Campaign was a light-hearted sci-fi homebrew in spite of the plagues just haven't broken out, and overall, kinda silly in spite of the stakes presented in the game. Think a mix of 2001: A Space Odyssey and the first Men in Black movie. Important players. Lester, unfortunately didn't stick around for the entire game due to scheduling problems, but is still relevant to the story, who played a geriatric park ranger Lois, searching for a missing grandkid. Pretty affable, if grumpy. Penny, playing a farmhand. Gomer, generally a gentle and kind person IRL. Ada, the problem player, playing a volatile ex-military prepper Leon who was the victim in an experimental bioweapon that was highly contagious if not medicated and was killing him slowly. Ada liked Resident Evil a lot. Started out really awesome. Samwise, playing an IT tech character Zeus, generally a normal human IRL, but also a crap stirrer. I was the DM and had made one mostly present NPC, Alf, who I often forget he was supposed to be in a room with the party or not. Think Navi, but human-sized and less annoying. The game started off fairly well with a message from space sent in Morse code, then translated to binary, and then from there into map coordinates. The players had all the tools to deal with this, don't worry, I'm not evil DM. They directed them to a park where a giant stone monolith had fallen unnoticed from space. It was the park where the Steel Space Odyssey monolith replica was placed, which was what inspired the campaign, and awaited a response. Zeus and Gomer figured out how to activate the monolith, while Leon stood back with some sort of a firearm in case it turned out to be dangerous. Odd choice given the session 0 we had over the past few weeks about the setting, but I can appreciate not wanting to metagame and stick to, yeah, my character will probably do that, in a non-crap-ass type of way. Alf introduced himself, his species of light energy-based life forms, and his plight, asking a recorded message for the inhabitants of Earth to assist them in their quest, as their world and species is threatened by a corrupted, extremely violent version of themselves, and their species had long forgotten how to be warlike and even a defensive capacity after several Earth centuries of peace and prosperity. After Penny, Ada, and Samwise were done making fun of me for how absolutely cheesy that was, the characters agreed to help, with Leon asking what they would get in return. Proud of them for that one, to be honest. They were told by Al that he would give them a technology that would help purify the pollution from Earth's air, but that finding a spot to park it was obviously beyond Earthers, because he's very obvious had no knowledge of the planet beyond what few radio waves his species had picked up from beyond Orion. The party also accepted this. The session ended shortly after they were brought aboard Alf's ship via Galaxy Quest transportation pod because the players couldn't stop laughing, and Samwise laughed himself sick, literally. Next session began with explaining why the aliens contacted Earth and introducing Lois to the party. Lester couldn't make it to the first session due to work or school obligations, I don't remember, and Lester to Ada and Penny, who had never met him and who had only met him in passing, respectively. Samwise already knew him as a friend. Immediately, Ada does not like Lester. He is blunt, kind of crass, blue-collar kind of dude. He doesn't have time for nonsense, but he's not rude. He's very polite to the group, if a bit awkward, but Ada thinks she should pay him respect for some reason that we pieced together far later is slightly related to her service in the Guard. National Guard, not Imperial. That was out of character. And at that point, I began wondering if maybe this was a bad idea. I asked Ada about why she's being uncharacteristically grumpy with Lester, and she tells me that she just tired from dealing with Karens at work. Hotel front desk, not busy enough she couldn't play if she had a shift on game night, but this is mostly why we played over text. She insisted, but we continue playing. Throughout the session, Leon is extremely rude to Lois to the point that Samwise and Penny are picking up on something. But Thing is just in character and have Zeus and Gomer gently tease Leon about being intimidated by an old lady. Time skip because we generally got about 2-3 sessions without issue. Lester had to leave due to scheduling issues and, if I remember correctly, having to care for someone ill family member, so he had his character decide to go off on her own with some assistance from the aliens to find her missing grandkid. This is where the problem generally started out of Ada. The session after Lester decided to dip out of the campaign, It implied a good bit of disgust during the pre-session phone call briefing. The voice call channel was mostly to just make fun of PC NPC antics, but served really well for letting players catch up while doing something else pre-game. Had Lester having responsibilities to the living earthlings in his life. Had Leon crap talk Lois leaving campaign as well. I politely asked Ada not to be mean about Lester having to take care of Ira responsibilities while the other two players were away. Maybe I shouldn't have said it in the call. Don't know. Regardless if it's said in the call or not, shaming somebody for having IRL responsibilities while taking care of an ill family member. It's a family member. It's literally your own flesh and blood, basically, I think, unless it's like married into the family. Either way, family is family, and I think most people that have decent relationships and stable relationships with their families, family comes first, and it's important to prioritize family above everything else. Like, obviously, you gotta make sure you're healthy and everything, but then if your family needs help in dire moment, you come help your family. When my mother went through diabetes and getting heart attacks and a bunch of other stuff, medical related things, I was there for her throughout the whole thing, and I would still throw everything down in order to be there for my mother, because guess what, she has no other support. In our big Russian family, there's not a lot of people here in America that can even help us out each other, so we gotta look out for each other, because who else are you gonna look out for? There's nothing wrong with wanting to take care of a family member and help him out, especially if they're in dire need of help, and to be shamed for that. For shame on Ada for that, dude. That's messed up. After the session gets going, since Ada's off work today, and Penny and Samwise rejoin the call after running to get dinner, they don't live together, but in the same time zone, and try to change the subject, but this causes Ada to get distant during the whole game, having to be pinged several times before even acknowledging anyone's existence, even though we're talking to her in call itself. We know she's not asleep or busy, because at least one of us can see her posting on Facebook. She's literally just ignoring us. After about an hour of this, and having had about 2 or 3 turns per player in the span, again waiting on Ada, I decide to land a mercy blow and call out the game for the night, assuming everyone's just exhausted. Ada's the first person to hang up and ignores us the rest of the night. At this point, we know something is wrong, but we know what's wrong, so we say nothing. But this goes on for a few sessions, to the point Samwise and Penny want to confront Ada. Things straighten up for about a week, but all hell breaks loose when the campaign reaches a major plot point. I introduce an NPC, Beans, whose oppressive father is a general, so Beans is naturally distrustful of Leon and has a negative opinion on soldiers. Deuce and Gomer get along well enough and try to keep the peace, but Leon's rarely having it. He and Beans have vicious banters, which leads to a lot of laughs and cheers. All seems good. Banters and cheers are all well and good as long as everybody that involved in it understands that it's all part of the fun. But assuming that maybe Ada is gonna be a little bit pissy from the last event and everything, I feel like maybe Ada kind of has maybe like an attitude problem. I don't know, man. Some people just kind of get like that. If they're told off, they immediately think the worst of you. They just immediately hate you. I get some people have complexes out there about being told off or told to do something specific or whatever. But I mean, at the same time, it's not that difficult just to not be rude or be mean to somebody because they need to go take care of family. Also, why are you even making fun of somebody for taking care of family? They can't control, but they're choosing to spend their free time in order to help a family member. How is that worth a mockery in any capacity? If you had a family emergency, I would think it'd be ridiculous of anybody at all to make fun of you for having a family emergency and take care of a family member that is sick and needs your assistance and help. There's nothing wrong with that. And to shame somebody for that or make fun of them or mock them is just cruel and mean, genuinely. A few sessions after I introduce Beans, however, Ada goes right back to ignoring everyone mid-session to post Facebook memes and statuses talking crap about everyone that we don't have permission to see. Unfortunately for her, Lester can still see these statuses and have our names in them, and he messages them to us in separate group chat captioned with WTF. Man, Ada is bitter. Absolutely bitter. The one thing I learned from VR chat roleplays is that if you have somebody that's gonna be this bitter and jaded to the point where they're literally like making fun and mocking people that they're supposed to be like involved with, don't have them in there. Just don't have them in there. Clearly, Ada does not care or have any respect for the people that are involved to the point where they're gonna be openly mocking them somewhere and just making fun of them and like sub-posting or hidden posting just to make fun of people and just to mock them. Why? If you don't want to get along with these people, if you don't like these people, leave. You don't have to participate, Ada. You don't have to be this. You can go onto Facebook and just post more memes and be all edgy and jaded and stuff if you want to. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. You like, this is not an airport. You don't have to announce when you leave. Just go. Just leave. That's it. I wonder how the confrontation is gonna go, because I feel like with Ada being this vindictive, I think that's a good word. Vindictive, bitter, probably bitter. With Ada being this bitter, I don't see this ending like amicably or peaceful. It's just gonna be a big chaotic mess. That's what I see. cat's out the bag. Samwise and Penny want to confront Ada now and are not going to wait around for my okay. So I give in. It's near the end of the campaign, which had long run than I expected, at this point anyway. So since I have to get Ada's attention in the server again, this session anyway, I pair the ping with a message asking if she has a problem with anyone in the campaign. She says no. Pretty much shrug, direct her to the dice roll prompt, roll a bot by the way, until the player takes the time with their next turns, as I'm running to the loo. But I'll be monitoring the text channels from my somewhat slow phone. Ada ignores the rolling instruction, roll 4d20 type vibe, and I crack a joke about insinuating a penalty for ignoring rolling instructions, since this is like the 5th time someone's done this. Samwise and Penny are not innocent of this lemao. I finish up, wash up, grab a bottle of water and a small snack at the back of my PC, and when I get back, Samwise has unleashed hell upon Ada. I don't remember what Samwise and Penny said, but screenshots got dropped of her heinous Facebook statuses, and I asked her why she would say we should... Oh, that was censored on Reddit. Oh, that was censored on the post. Oh, I just clicked that and saw that. UNALIVE ourselves. Oh, they made her want to... Oh, make an incision on herself and unalive herself in multiple different violent ways, etc. What the hell? I asked her, what have you done that she was afraid to come talk to us about? What went wrong? I've been a bad friend somehow. No, this is Attack of an Edgelord, emo attack or something. What the hell? How old is Ada? Seriously, unironically, how old is Ada? This is, by the way, just to put in perspective, this is probably a response towards Beans being a character in a thing, and also over asking Ada, hey, stop making fun of a person for wanting to help out a family member. They got a medical emergency they can't attend. Because of that, she says she wants to unalive herself, and a party should unalive themselves, and she wants to do like a scissor cut on her whatevers. I don't know. I think I'm allowed to say that, but you know what I mean, right? You want to dice tomatoes on your forearm. Does that make sense? I don't know. You probably get it. You are picking up what I'm putting down, right? What the hell of a reaction is that? I told her from the bottom of my heart that I genuinely wanted to resolve this and make things better because I valued her as a friend, and that talking this kind of crap about everyone behind their backs without trying to at least talk to me about whatever was going on was extremely hurtful. She started screaming about how we could go screw ourselves. They were always crappy friends who always bullied her, etc, etc. We did not. Beans picked on Leon or vice versa. Gomez and Zeus tried to moderate the fight, but all 3 players and myself were repeatedly discussing how it was all in character. I had no idea where she got this. It was probably the banter. I mean, obviously the first thing was asking, hey, don't make fun of somebody for having an emergency family leave or something. But the second was probably the banter. You assumed it was all in good fun as it was getting a little bit heated, but Ada probably took that all of it personally and made it her problem in order to cause some sort of an issue, or actually just straight up people like, you know what? I'm taking it personally. Screw the rest of the party. This is nuts. This is insane. Absolutely insane. Oh, well, let's see how it all ends, I guess. I have a couple of thoughts, but yeah, let's see how it all ends. About how she should dox us and come kick our asses, etc. I shan't detail too much. Try to calm it down to no avail. She started on some crocodile tears bullcrap, to quote Samwise. Samwise immediately got angry, Penny mentally checked out, and I experienced a feeling somewhat between rage, fear, and nausea, and expressed that very loudly after Ada insisted that we were impossible to appease, stating that I was not going to entertain this childness, and this needed to be worked out now if she wanted to remain friends. Safe to say she didn't, but I was trying everything to keep the friendship intact at this point. The well has already been poisoned, unfortunately. It wasn't you, I don't think it was any of you guys. I don't know the full context, but I'm gonna assume you guys aren't actually bullies that like torment this Ada person whatsoever. Assuming so. However, not everybody is always going to be like, you know, not at fault. There's a lot of story. There's a lot of truth to every story, to be completely honest. But at the end of the day, maybe there might have been something you guys did in the past that maybe Ada considered picked on and stuff. Or maybe they're going through some sort of trauma or something difficult and stressful, and they're just lashing out the rest of the world like an angsty teenager. How old are they, by the way? Are they an angsty teenager? Are they about that point where they just anger just takes over? Is that what it is? is. It could, maybe, I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. There could be always a possibility that maybe they're just going through something really deep and dark or something, and they just have a difficult time like expressing it, and they're just kind of lashing out. Or they're just a rude a-hole. They're just trying to manipulate you guys emotionally with this like unalive yourself comment and dice tomatoes your forearm or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea, dude. I honestly can't make heads or tails on it. I guess only Ada would know and your party would know, but yeah, this is insane. This is not how you handle conflicts or how you talk to friends. She tried to have Leon kill Beans with her turn. It has been her next turn. She just won first session, and when that was shut down with a stern reminder that from everyone that this out-of-character conversation needed to be had now, she left the server, blocked all of us, sent hate mail to Lester, another friend of ours who was not even involved in the campaign, and if I remember correctly, told Lester to uninstall IRL System 32, called us some transphobic crap, was racist to our other friend, and lied telling them that we told her they had done some kind of heinous thing. This damn near killed my friendship with Lester, my desire to even join an RPG campaign in any way ever again. Thankfully, it did neither, despite my eventual drifting apart from Lester, but we never spoke to Ada ever again, despite seeing her around on RPG and Resident Evil related Facebook groups and posts. It did, however, manage to ruin the friendship between Lester and Samwise somehow. Penny, Samwise, and I are still friends, though we don't game much anymore, sadly. Ada, if you're seeing this, hope whatever the hell you were going through has eased up and you're okay now. Whoa, dude. I never know what I'm gonna be able to get into from a story, but like sometimes it's like a you know what it is? I'm gonna quote Forrest Gump. RPG horror story. I can't even do Forrest Gump voice. RPG horror stories are like a box of chocolates. You never know when something's gonna bite you in the ass because it's not a chocolate, it's a spider. Anyway, it's insane. It's crazy. I personally don't think the DM or most of the people in here did anything particular that stands out to me, but maybe something was omitted or something left behind the scenes or something. Maybe there was a previous conflict between some players or something or anything. Samwise was pretty gung-ho to just address Ada immediately, and understand sometimes people just don't want to take no crap. They don't want to deal with no childish petty behavior because yes, it is annoying. Should Ada be like hidden posting, bad-mouthing their group? Definitely not. It's not what a friend does at all whatsoever. But they still chose to do so, and that's very antagonistic. The response you guys had as players was very apt because yeah, you don't want to have to deal with somebody just bad-mouthing you just like that for no reason, especially when you're already part of a specific group, especially over something so innocuous, right? It's not even like this just straight up bullying. It's so innocuous as saying, hey, don't make fun of somebody for having to leave for family emergency, or Beans joining in and having a bit of a just rough banter with Leon. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you should have pinged Ada, be like, hey, I don't know if that banter went too much or too long. You okay with it, or should I tone it down? I don't know. Maybe the vibes were just right, but Ada just took it personally. Who knows? I have no idea from Ada's perspective. Have no clue. But the reaction and the incendiary things that Ada said to basically unalive yourselves and try to dox you and stuff and kick your ass, that was too far. That was absolutely, entirely unhinged behavior. In this sense, I can't even give Ada any kind of grace for this, because this is not how you respond if people actually are trying to bully you or even supposedly pick on you. What you do with bullies, you don't interact with them. D&I, do not interact. You drop out of the group and don't interact with bullies or have them in your life. Block them, remove them from your life, and just go with that. You don't tell them, go on alive yourselves, System 32 uninstall or whatever, because that's not the way to address people. This is not right and not okay. In this sense, I honestly cannot be on Ada's side. I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know what the hell is happening with Ada, but I'm not okay with their behavior or the following stuff they did afterwards after they left the game. Ooh, let's move on to the next story for today. I need a little bit of refresher, or something a little bit less intense, a little bit less, I want to say chilling, but it's not really chilling. I mean, kind of chilling, honestly. Telling somebody to go unalive themselves is pretty chilling, dude. Ugh. Anyway, the DM obsessed with traps. Title says it all. My group had a DM that was so trap happy, it got him banned from the ever DMing again. Trap ban. The titular trap says DM. Alexander, our human rogue. Bearclaw, our orc barbarian. Trick, our gnome artificer. Yours truly, the Dragonborn sorcerer. Hey, I know a trap, man. Completely does different things, completely entirely unrelated. But basically, there's a YouTuber on Twitch and YouTube, I guess. There's a VR chat persona that does like VR chat roleplays called Trapman. A lot of his content was originally just speaking like a girl in VR chat and switching to his voice and basically making people go, oh, you're a dude, not a girl, after like try to flirt with them. Completely unrelated to setting traps or like booby traps or anything. Maybe a different kind of booby trap. Completely unrelated. Let's go on. Traps included A pressure plate trap at the entrance of the first dungeon that sprayed acid on whatever set it off. A rockfall trap that had no visible trigger. A spike trap in a random hallway that led to the storage room. A pitfall trap we just watched the master of the dungeon run over without slowing or looking down. Of course, these were all the dungeons, so we just assumed it was just how the bad guys set it up. Then we got into town, set all loot, restock and all that jazz. We checked into the inn for the night, and Alexander decided to rogue and snuck out through the town, started casing houses and businesses. He found the general store had a poison dart trap in the handle of the front door, town hall had a swinging axe trap, several homes had traps that could kill a common NPC, and then he got caught by a needle trap trying to sneak back into his room. The innkeeper tried to make us pay for an antidote. Bearclaw haggled. Why is this town full of traps? Unless, okay, the only time you can have a town full of traps if you literally call it Trap Town. But specifically, everybody knows this town is full of traps and everybody is just a master tinkerer and is always trying to prank each other. Haha, Bill, you stepped into my venomous poison trap. Better call 5-2 gold or you won't get the antidote and you'll be paralyzed from the neck below. Like it's some sort of a bit where everybody is just trying to basically prank each other. Haha, pranked you with an axe trap. Oh, you beheaded. Whoopsie! Crazy. At this point, we were annoyed, but willing to keep playing. The point he went too far was in session 3. You see, at this point we'd gotten pretty good at sussing out his trap, and Trick even managed to disarm and disassemble most of them to sell off for parts, so we were sitting on a decent amount of gold. We decided to buy a small plot of land and build a small keep on it, somewhere to rest between missions and stuff. Let me guess, you build the town or you build the castle or you little keep and it was suddenly trapped out of nowhere. Just traps appear out of nowhere. Magical trap just in the middle of the woods, in the bathroom, in the foyer. Crazy. We paid for the land and called and had it built by workers gained through the connection of the party. Members of Bearclaw's tribe and Trick's family. With time skip to the keep being complete, the first night we decided to do some fluff role-playing. Just seeing how our characters interacted and rest. I went to the library to do some reading. Pit trap. There was a pit trap after the door to the library. It actually killed me. Alright, which family member or worker put in a hidden pit trap, huh? We got little trap fiends everywhere. They're just trapping up the place everywhere. You know probably what it is? It's not like a gold tooth fairy. It's a trap fairy that just flies around with a little trap on it, just like pit trap here, spike trap here, axe trap here. Everybody gets traps. Woo! That's about when I exploded. See, I'm the type of guy that takes a lot to get mad. I could take people setting up traps in their own homes and businesses, but in case you forgot, this keep was not only freshly built, but designed by us, the players, and none of us okayed any traps in the interior. Technically, no, but see, since you time skipped, your DM is probably going to be like, well, since you time skipped, a secret trap fairy came over and created a couple of traps to prank you because you didn't pay the trap fairy tax. And suddenly, the 2 acorns you owe to the trap fairy, she decided to place a trap every 7th day after every 9th day or whatever. I don't know, honestly, I'm just making up stuff at this point. It's just ridiculous. It's weird. Why is your DM so obsessed with traps all over? Traps are great. Traps are great to make puzzles and make adventures seem dangerous, and different dark caverns and dungeons designed to trap adventurers and be able to basically leave them for dead. But it also could be filled with a lot of loot. Traps are a great way to add a puzzle and some sort of fun, exciting mechanic to a game, but not if everything is a trap. If everything is a trap, then nothing is a trap and it gets not exciting anymore. You gotta vary it up a little bit sometimes. Powerful BBG without a trap. Powerful monster without a trap. Powerful army to fight without a trap. A puzzle that isn't a trap. I mean, I guess everything can be a trap. This game is a trap. You guys are trapped inside of a game. Please wake up. Get out of the game before you get trapped forever. Trapman, of course, tried to justify it, but we all shut him down by pointing out, whoa, how do you justify that? Unironically, seriously, how do you justify? Well, the trap just appeared there. It was born there. Maybe it's born there. Maybe it's Maybelline. How do you justify that? I am baffled. But we all shut him down by pointing out that we were sick of the traps. So why would he have them in our own home? Why wouldn't the people we paid to build it have warned us about them? Why would the builders put these traps in without asking for one of them? When he refused to tell us where these traps in our home were, we finally just stopped playing. Packed up, went home, set up a new game with a different member of the group DMing next week. none of us ever joined the game Trapman ran again. Well, at least you guys did a good thing. Honestly, I think it might have been a long time coming to just get that done and taken care of. Anyway, not much with this story for the most part, just like if you have a DM that's constantly obsessed with a specific gimmick of the TTRPG environment, maybe tell them to vary things up or at least not put traps everywhere. Man, like if your DM is so obsessed that you want to put traps everywhere, including like a nice sanctuary you guys built specifically without traps, I think the game is doomed from the start. You guys did the right thing. You got fed up with it, said screw it, we're not dealing with it, let's just come back together next session, somebody else will DM. There we go, no traps. And with that, that's gonna be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.